Right, let's see what we have for you. So, Eight of Cups. Yeah, the Eight of Cups is when we're just done. We're emotionally done with the situation. Now, it's not easy to get to that point. I'll say that. Because the Eight Cups, that we've worked on this, whatever this cycle was, we've worked on it until we've gotten to 8, right? But then to get to 8 and you think, well, you know what? This is not even satisfying me. I don't want this. I'm done with it. Now, a lot of times people talk about walking away from a situation. The card itself is Cups. So it talks about being emotionally done. You emotionally are leaving something behind. There's no more pain when this card shows up. Once you've gotten to this point where you're like, no, don't want it. There's no pain here. Yes, that feeling of being emotionally done with the situation can mean that you do walk away from something. But the card itself, the energy of the card itself doesn't show that. Not for me anyway. For me, this speaks about at an emotional level, you're no longer invested in something. You're no longer going to put any more emotions into this. And like I say, it's a card of progress for me because the person is leaving behind something to go and find something better. The kind of message here is that you leave behind the 8 so you can go and find the 9, which is the wish card, your heart's desire. So a lot of people don't like this card, but I'm one of those people that does like this card. So yeah, April, I mean, we've got Aries season, which is a sister fire sign to you. So it might be that's just the energy that you needed to say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore. And the reason I think this is quite a positive thing for you is because we have the sun powering everything at the heart of your reading. And this is Leo energy, but, you know, it doesn't have to be. The sun talks about the potential, you see the potential for great happiness in a situation. You are not leaving behind something. I mean, it might be because it's awful or whatever has happened that you just don't get anything out of it. But it's more about because you see the potential elsewhere. You see that, you know, I can have more than this. The reason we see the potential when the sun shows up is because everything's revealed to us. We look at everything clearly. And that's what Mercury retrogrades are great for. I've been saying that. When we're in the sunlight, there's no effort required to look at things. Like, you know, everything's revealed to us without anything that we don't really need to do anything. And it looks like within seeing everything clearly, you see the potential. You see the potential. And the sun also talks about like that kind of innocent, childish joy. Maybe something you were in a situation that it becomes so emotionally draining. And you want some of that innocence. You want some of that. Children never have to be forced to feel anything. They are very much in tune with how they feel. I've just spent a week with my nephew who's 4 years old, and you can't get him to fake how he's feeling. When he's happy, he's happy. When he's unhappy, he's unhappy. So there is that. I mean, I love this. I love this here, even with the 8 of Cups as underlying energy. It doesn't literally, it may not mean that, you know, you actually walk away from something this month, but you're going to realize what it is that you're done with. And it's not so much about where you are. It's more about where you're headed with that sun coming up there. Because we do have the Ace of Cups here coming up as the foundation of the past energy. So it kind of feels like you began a new cycle. There may have been new love. The Ace of Cups can talk about an opportunity in love, something that makes us happy, like, you know, emotional growth, spiritual growth, a new emotional cycle that we begin. So it might be that there was an opportunity that came up, but all right, for some of you, this opportunity, it came up in the past. You've already invested in this. That's what the 8 comes up here. You had all this hope, this whatever, but it's not turned out to be what you wanted it to be. Now, that doesn't have to be just in a romantic relationship. It can be for work. It can be for, you know, any area. We can find love and happiness in any area of our lives. For others of you, it may be that, you know, whatever this opportunity was, you haven't even taken up the opportunity. It's because you see something else, something better that's coming along. Now, just be careful why you're doing that. Why is it? I mean, what the significance of the energy that comes up as the past of the foundation is to show us where we're going, why we're headed that way. There's a really strong kind of energy coming up in this reading, Sagittarius, of you guys see something in the future that kind of, I get the sense that other people may not understand. They may not understand. Like if I asked you to explain this to me, you might try to, and I might be baffled. Well, I have a Sagittarius rising, so I probably wouldn't be. But the other people, like your friends or family, if you try to tell them that, hey, I'm not going to take that job, or I'm not going to date that person, or, you know, I'm going to go for this instead, like whatever it is, the other thing is, and it may not make any kind of sense to people, but you see a clarity in this, and you don't have to convince other people as long as you know what you're doing, right? Now, this is where the kind of cautionary kind of energy comes in a little bit, because we have the 4 of Pentacles coming up in the present. Combined with everything else, especially with the sun there, I don't see this as too much of a problem. For some of you, it may be. For some of you, I'm just going to say this. You're walking away from something because you don't want to break out of your comfort zone. Like, it kind of feels like it overwhelms you or stretches you. But that's like for very few of you. I don't think that applies to the majority of Sagittarians. Why? Because we have the sun there and the Ace of Cups there in the past. Maybe you started this like with, whenever we try to manifest something, we always manifest from our emotions, right? Whenever you want something, it's, how is this going to make me feel? That's why you invest into it. That's the motivation you have. I want that job because being successful is going to make me feel like this. I want that relationship because being with that person makes me feel like this. This is the idea. The notion begins with the Ace of Cups. But it's almost like you can hear some kind of music that the rest of us can't hear. That's what's kind of coming up here. And you maybe you're just emotional and people don't understand it. This might be where people are telling you, what the hell's going on here? Like, this is amazing. You've got this great stuff going on. And you're like, no, there's something even better than this. So the Four of Pentacles, yes, for some of you, it's about not breaking out of the comfort zone. For others of you, I get the sense that what's of value to you. What's of value to you. Now, I'm going to say this. If you're in a relationship, some of you are kind of getting to this point because the other person's not opening up. Or I don't really get you guys not opening up, but it's a general reading, so it can go both ways, right? But somebody may not be opening up. Somebody may be just clinging to a comfort zone. But there's this kind of call for freedom here, like to want freedom, to want to explore more, to want to do more. That's what's coming up. So the Four of Pentacles, yes, it's the Miser card, but it can also be maybe you're trying to save up to go and travel or to do something. Maybe you started something that makes you happy, but you want more of it, right? So you're having to hold on to your finances. I'm not seeing the Four of Pentacles in this reading the way that I would normally see it, which normally I would say, hey, don't get stuck in a comfort zone. You have to kind of risk your security and your stability. Some of you are going to have to do that because you do have the Eight of Cups here, but I don't feel like that's the advice. I feel like you're doing that anyway. I feel like you guys are doing that. That security, the stability, that getting stuck. You don't want to have that suffocation. This is kind of, have a look. We have the Four of Pentacles here and then we have the Three of Pentacles here. So that's going backwards, but that's what Mercury retrogrades are great for. We get to revisit a situation. And this is almost like you're taking a step back. You're going one step back. So what's the one step back from this? It's the Ace of Cups. Back to the beginning where you felt love. It's almost like a course correction. That's what I'm getting here. There's a course correction going on. And it's because you kind of feel stuck. When you're in a maze and you kind of come to a dead end and you're like, well, okay, let's just go back a little bit and we go the other way. Because the Three of Pentacles talks about planning for the future. So whatever this is that you're emotionally done with, that just makes you feel stuck. That's like a comfort zone. Maybe things have become too comfortable in your job, in your relationship, in your friendships, whatever it is. It's, you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not expanding your horizons here. So you've taken that step back to go and plan. And it doesn't mean you're leaving people behind. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that, like I said. With the sun there, you might be coming up with new fun ideas or things. Let's do this. Let's go do that. Let's stop hanging out at the same place. How about we try doing this with the business? How about we try doing this with that project? But where it's powered from is the underlying energy, which is, I'm done with that. That's boring. Not going to do that. I'm not staying stuck there. And that's what if it's for work, that's great. It works well for you because the Three of Pentacles is being recognized for the work that you put in. This is not about playing it safe, though. And I think you know that. I think it's redundant of me to say that to you because I feel like a lot of you are on that page. The Eight of Cups here, you're done with it. You know it's not about playing it safe and you don't want to play it safe. You want something fresh. You want something new. So whatever you have planned, it looks good, especially with the sun sat above there. And this is about going back to a time when you were happy, when things were fresh, like you had that hope, emotional growth, spiritual growth, healing, whatever it is. Because we have the Star here, which is also a very spiritual card. And the Star, it's the card of hope, new beginnings. It's the hope that you get from new beginnings. Sometimes, what they say, that a change is as good as a holiday. That's the kind of energy that's coming up here. That's why I think a lot of people are not going to understand why you want this change. Because it's like, well, everything's going so well. You're like, nope, I want something new. The Star is the card that shows up after the Tower in the Major Arcana. But I'm not getting that kind of Tower-like energy. If there is, it's because you are ripping things apart. You don't want it. You just don't want it. Now, whenever I get the sun and the star coming up in the same spread, that can be when your star is rising, the spotlight is on you. So some of you have been trying to get recognition in your career, especially with that. That's another recognition card. Maybe you're a YouTuber, maybe you're a writer, a musician, whatever it is that you do. This is great for that. Now, the star is the advice here. So the advice is that's like the hope that you get from a new beginning. Give freely. And sometimes, in the past, maybe you were looking for who can fill my cup. With the star card is whose cups are you filling? Because that's what the person in the star card does. She's pouring out her cups. And she gives freely because she has faith that when she wants, she will get back. This King of Cups has been coming up everywhere. I mean, I think it might be also that people are getting more in touch with how they feel and they're more comfortable with saying how they feel because that's the King of Cups. But so the devil, this could be something that is temptation, right? That's the main thing of the devil. When do we fall into temptation? Like if it's addiction, whether it's codependency, whether it's old behavioral patterns, it's when things become difficult. The devil can be, like I said, addiction. But basically the main energy of this card is one of control. What has control over you? What has power over you? It's restriction. And it's the shackles that hold you back. The chains that hold you back. So the question mark here is what's holding you back? And I think you've identified it. I think this is, again, redundant that this is saying it because you know. If you don't know, you're going to know by the end of April because we have the Four of Pentacles. This is that comfort zone. You're aware of it. It's very suffocating energy when you have these two and then you have the devil as well. It's almost like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be held back. I want to go. I want to be free. I want to frolic in the sunflowers, in the sunlight. I want to be free to follow the star. And the thing is, you're willing to put work into it. The Three of Pentacles, you're willing to put work into it. You're willing to put together a plan and to put the work into it to make it happen, the action that it requires. This is solid. This is grounded energy. So this is not like building castles in the sky. You have some idea behind this, but it's motivated by where you don't want to be rather than, where you want to be. Kind of getting that for some of you. So we have judgment. Now, for some of this is a second chance at something, especially with that Ace of Cups there. So maybe you didn't think you'd be able to have that fresh start, and it could be in a relationship or, get that chance to be happy in your career, whatever it is, right? Whatever is making you feel happy, whatever that happiness was in the past. And a lot of people have been getting this message. Judgment talks about second chances, rebirth, renewal, because you're transformed. You are changed. Maybe you weren't ready for this in the past. You weren't ready for this in the past. Maybe in the past it felt like it was too much for you, but now you're ready for it. You're ready to expand your horizons. You're ready to go for something bigger. You're ready to start planning for the future. If not you, somebody is, because we have the Four of Pentacles and the Three. 4 is when, you're closed off, clinging to what you know, clinging to what security you have. You don't want to be vulnerable. But the 3 is working in groups, planning with other people, planning for the future. And then we have the King of Cups. And the King of Cups, he's the ideal lover, but he knows how he feels. He knows how he feels. And I always say with him that, still waters run very deep with him. Still waters run very deep. He doesn't always share how he's feeling. So it might be now, this might be stuff that's been going on for a while for you. And now you're ready to come out and say it. Maybe there was someone that that makes you feel happy. A job that you kind of thought about in the past that this would make me really happy. Like you've been emotionally involved in this, but now you're taking the practical steps to get there. But the motivation behind this and what you're asked to focus on as the advice is the star, which is the hope that comes, the healing that comes from new beginnings. Okay, so it says flirt, extend your light-hearted energy to others. And that might be like what the star card is saying. It's about giving. You give away, right? You're pouring out your cups because you can, because you have that to give away. Now, flirt doesn't have to just mean go, especially when you're in a relationship. Please, I'm not asking you to go flirt with people. Flirt, it's talking about your light-hearted energy. Maybe things have become too serious and, you want some. I'm getting the sense, the desire for freedom, for something fun. And like I said, the Sun card, it's that it is light-hearted energy. It's childlike. It's playful energy with the Sun. And it feels like things might have been too serious. And now you want something fresh. You want something new. Whether that's in your existing situation, but then you are the one who changes things up, right? Like attracts like. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. And that's the star card as well. Like I said, the star card, you pour out. Let's go back to this. She can pour it out, and it kind of looks like, why would you be pouring that out? There's already enough water there. She pours it out with the faith that, you know, when she wants back, when she needs to be nourished, when she needs that herself, she will get it. It's faith and it's hope. If you've been, you know, the King of Cups, whatever he is in love with, whether it's a person, a job, whatever, it could be time to express that. And everyone's been getting this. This King of Cups has been coming up all over the place. But it's getting in the vibration of what you want, right? If you stay here, wherever this emotional vibration is, you're doing it. You're walking away because you want something new. You want that freedom. Truth be told, what that's saying, it's time for him to express. Could be someone else that expresses it to you, but I'm not getting that. This is so much of like your energy that's coming out. Transformation that you've gone through. You removing the shackles. You saying, let's go. I'm going to go forward. I want a new beginning. Let's shine the light on this. If some of you, like if you write, if you're a YouTuber like me, or, you know, if you, whatever it is that you do, I feel like there's an element of honesty and truth, that an element of you that comes through. That can be very cathartic. That can be very, with this kind of healing energy of the star, where you are now ready to express something about something that you went through. Maybe share a story. Maybe you're writing a book about something difficult that happened. And that's how that light-hearted energy returns, because you're now able to talk about this. You might not have been able to. You were kind of holding on to something, and that can be released. And it kind of brings you are recognized for this. Like, you know, the sun and the star, like I said, that can be when your star is rising. And you're celebrated and you're noticed for what it is that you're putting out into the world. Sun is a very creative energy. It's creative projects. It can be new energy that comes in whichever form it is. All right, let's pull you a postcard from Spirit. All right, here we go. It says, dear you, sometimes you just feel like no one understands you. You're not heard, or even that you don't count. This, my dear, is a terrible illusion. And although your feelings tell you that abandonment is real, well, we who love you know better. You are never alone. And even when rejection happens, excuse me, you are ultimately being protected so better things can replace what wouldn't have worked in the first place. Everyone on this side of the veil is watching over you and rooting for your ultimate success. Life loves you. We love you. And you are a unique spark of the divine and always connect to the light and to source. You are always in our care. Trust and keep the faith. Love you always and forever. Now, that was something that I kind of saw, but the sun kind of negates that. But maybe the Eight of Cups is someone left you behind, right? It works both ways. Excuse me. But yeah, the sun kind of makes it seem like a really good thing. So sorry. But you know, if that can be difficult to take, but I'm not getting breakup energy. I'm not getting pain. If I'm not really getting that. And the underlying energy for me, if you've watched my videos for a while, you know I always say it's the energy for the person that I'm reading for. But yeah, you know, even if you don't feel, maybe that's what it is, that you're looking for new people to work with, because the Three of Pentacles can show planning with other people, working towards the future for other people. Or you feel like people have been holding you back. But there's so much hope here and there's so much potential for happiness that I just feel like it's a good thing. Trust your instincts, Sagittarius.